Hi everyone, welcome to Grace and Glory Homeschooling. My name is Michaela and I'm a homeschooling mom of 13 years. A couple months ago I did a review video on my Father's World first grade, and I have received so many requests to do my Father's World kindergarten. So I am sitting here at my house with everything spread out on the floor, and I am going to just share this video as if you were a friend who came to my house and you wanted to know what my Father's World was all about, how we used the kindergarten program, and what it looked like for our family. So I hope this will be helpful to you. Let's just go ahead and dive right in. So my Father's World sells these packages. I'm gonna hold up the catalog here. They have deluxe kits and then they have basic kits. I went ahead and just ordered the basic kit. And I did that because I used this with my third born child. So I've already been homeschooling my first and my second born. So we kind of have a big library already at our house with lots of books. So I didn't need all the books that they have, but I want to encourage you, if maybe you're looking at this curriculum for your firstborn child and you don't have a big library at home, maybe you want to go ahead and buy that deluxe package, and then you'll have all the books and you'll be able to keep them for the younger children. If you have other siblings as well, that you could reuse this curriculum for multiple children. So it's up to you. There's a lot of resources that come even in the basic kit, but you can go get books from your bookstore, from a used bookstore, from your library, Amazon, anything like that. So I'm going to show you, this is God's creation from A to Z. This is the teacher's manual. And with this curriculum, each week is like a little unit study, and each week focuses on the letter of an alphabet, and it focuses on a Bible concept that goes with that letter of the alphabet, and then it brings in every subject with that. So this is completely inclusive, and you don't have to buy anything else if you don't want to. It does cover every subject. I really like that they have a weekly glance at the beginning of every unit. So like this one's week 26, this one was about frogs. And you'll see it says day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. And it shows you everything that you're going to do for the whole week. And so I like this because, some weeks are different than others. Some weeks we're going on field trips and we have park days and things planned. And I want to be able to shift things around. I don't always want to do it in the order that they have set it. So I'm able to look at the entire week. Other curriculum that I have seen, they only let you see it day by day. And so I really appreciate being able to see the whole week. They do get into day by day lesson plans, very simple, very laid out just in black and white for you. And it does tell you like what song to sing and what to do for Bible and what to do for each subject. But that's something that's also easy to kind of shift around. At the very back of your teacher's manual, you'll see I put some sticky notes in so I could easily find these areas. They have a reading plan, and you're going to reference this all throughout the year, but I definitely would encourage you to look at it before you get started, get yourself familiar with it, go over it, and then you'll be able to see how you teach your child to read the My Father's World way. They also have a handwriting guide, and it shows you how to instruct your child to properly make the strokes for learning how to write their letters, like where they're going to start and stop and directions and everything. They also have at the back of the guide book lists that go for each unit. So like for this one, the quail unit, these are all the books that My Father's World recommend that are age appropriate, that have to do with the quail unit that we're studying. So that was kind of cool. That gives you ideas for that. So there's a set of flashcards that come with My Father's World, and I set these out at the beginning of every week, and whatever unit we happen to be on, it shows the letter of the week and the object of the week, and then you're going to have a biblical concept that coordinates with the object of the week. So it's really cool. They're called biblical concept flashcards. And you could cut them up if you want, but I ended up laminating them. You can see there's a bunch of them. And so each unit that you're studying about, they're gonna give you an object to help, connect it in your child's brain. And then there's gonna be a concept. So like the fruit, if I stay in Jesus, I will have much fruit. And it talks about bearing fruit in our lives. And so it was so cute to get to hear my son as he memorized these and as he would work on them orally. So we started with the first one and we would say it out loud and work to memorize it all throughout the week. And then as we went to the second one, we would learn a new one, but we would go back and review the previous one. So by the time he got to the end, he had learned all of these and was able to say them all in order, and it was so sweet. I remember when he first started, there's the one concept where we were learning about the turtle, and it says, I don't quit, I persevere. And I'll never forget, my son would say, I press revere. And he would say that every day. I press revere, mommy, in my school. And those are just memories that I will always treasure. And I just love that my father's world paved the way to hide God's word in our children's heart in a way that was very life applicable and understandable for them. So I love that it ties in the Bible in that way. I also really liked how they taught children to read. So they give you these like textured, rubbery kind of like foamy letters. I don't know how to describe them. And then you use this blend chart. And so you would have the child place the letters, the consonants at the beginning and the end of the word to start making CVC words. So say you put a P and a T, you would have them start here and you would say pat. And then you would have them scoot down, pet, and pit, and pot, and put. And so they would learn all about the vowels, and then they would learn about the consonants. And this is something that I really appreciated because I have noticed, just with some of the different friends that my child has, a lot of children at this age do not know the difference of vowels and consonants. Even as old as first or second grade still do not know how to differentiate between vowels and consonants. And this is such a simple thing. My son really enjoyed the way that he was learning this. It wasn't like, doing a bunch of worksheets and boring. It was a way that was hands-on and interactive. And there was a vowel song and a chart that went along with that as well. There was the alphabet chart and the number chart. I went ahead and laminated all these things. There was bingo cards. And so anyways, I really liked how they taught children to read. And then they also utilized student sheets. So I went ahead and put them in this binder. You're gonna see it is huge. It is so heavy. This is kind of like a memory book or like a portfolio now of everything from kindergarten year. I really like that it's all in one place. But so there's student sheets and they go in the same order every week and they follow like a rhythm. So my son grew to know that he was going to expect what was happening, and it was kind of cool. He's like, every week he knew what was coming, and every week he knew the order. And some people may not like that. Some people might say, oh, it's so repetitious, but he really looked forward to that, and he really enjoyed knowing what was coming next. So I'm going to try and show you a unit from start to finish. I am looking through here at one that might make sense clearly to you. So let's start with O. I'm going to take it out of this big, huge binder. So for the O unit, they would start out with a page and they would learn to practice all their O's. And then they would have a phonics sheet on the back, and they would circle the things that made the off or octopus sound and X out anything that did not make that sound. And then they would have, what are these called? The cut and paste pages, where they would have these little tabs and they would have these pictures and they would cut and paste and put them onto the page to learn their words. Then they would have a math page of the week. And so this is a math page that we discussed that tied into octopus. I printed this off the internet, an octopus Hank. We watched Finding Nemo, or Finding Dory actually, and so he colored this page as well. Then we worked on our blend ladder, and I would let him choose if he wanted to utilize crayons or markers or rubber stamps. And so for this one, he actually stamped his blends. So he would stamp the letters and then he would write the words. And then he'd have his word list for the week. And this is where he would read these CVC words, and I would make checks or stars if he got the words correct. And I felt like this was pretty much on track. It wasn't too hard, it wasn't too easy, it was just really enjoyable for him. And then he would also have a drawing page for the week. I'm gonna get this out so you can see it. So he would draw things that start with the letter O, so octopus, ocean, odd numbers, orange fruit, whatever he wanted to draw. I didn't dictate to him what that was. I let him choose, and then I would just write in the corner what it was. So as I look back over the years, then I'm able to remember what it was and have that as a keepsake. But he really loved getting to choose what he would draw every week. And then they gave you like these little objects that you could cut out. Here's the week 11 octopus. I would always glue them onto like thicker cardstock paper, and I would write the saying that had to go with the biblical concept of the week. So even the octopus praises the Lord. My son named it Pinkie Pie Octopus. I don't know why. So anyways, we would have that, and that would kind of be like our weekly rhythm for what we would do for every unit. And then we would add storybooks and cuddle up on the couch together. And it really was such an enjoyable year because in the past, you know, my older kids, we, both of them did a Becca for kindergarten, and it was not what I would call fun or enjoyable. There was a lot of worksheets, there was a lot of drills, there was a lot of work, and at the end of the year, neither one of my older kids, you know, would say, oh, this was such a fun year, Mom, or I love school. And so one of my goals for my third-born child was to make sure that he had that love of learning and to make sure he really enjoyed kindergarten, because I didn't want him to finish kindergarten year and dread school and then still have 12 more years, you know, left to go. So I really appreciate that my father's world is relationship building, is very gentle and very enjoyable. You can participate. They have crafts and recipes if you want to do them. We didn't always do them, but they have a lot of different activities to make it really fun. And I just think that's so important in the kindergarten years. Looking back now, you know, my oldest daughter, she's 19, and I so miss the time of having a little girl. I would never trade any of those days of worksheets for the time that I got to have with my youngest now doing my father's world. So I just want to talk really quick about the devotional Bible curriculum. This is the book that came with it, and my son loved it so much. You would read the one-page devotional, and then there's all kinds of questions that you ask, and you have them do like a picture study. They have to look at the picture and study it and to be able to answer the questions. He enjoyed this book so much. I ended up picking up the second book. This is the second one that is the stories from the New Testament, and this one's not scheduled in my father's world, but I just loved it so much and he loved it so much. He wanted to keep going with more Bible devotions. So yay for my father's world for instilling a love of the Bible as well as a love for learning. We also really enjoyed the dinosaur book that came with it, and this is kind of the science focus. There's not a lot of science, but you do learn a lot about animals and plants, and just naturally you learn about different scientific things in just a very just a natural way that's not like forced. They do have a Cuisinart rod books, and the kit comes with Cuisinart rods, and you can make letters with alphabet and shapes and kind of hands-on learning with that. One thing that I did is I made daily folders for our work, and so I have some of them here to show you. So I would put each sheet of the day into the folder. And so my son knew, like, okay, the Monday folder's blue and the Tuesday folder's green, and he would know to go get his folder every day. And so I filled all the folders on Sunday nights, and then at the end of the week on Friday, I would empty all the folders and put them into our binder. And so that was a way for me to stay organized and kind of keep things all together, and it really did work well for us. We continued that in first grade, and we plan to continue that in second grade for him as well. The only thing that I added to this is that we added Bob Jones math. I felt like the math was a little bit light because it's only 1 page per week, and I wanted a little bit more. I also wanted a curriculum that I could purchase for kindergarten, and I could stick with it for first and second and keep going, like set him up on a path. So I just have this one folder that I kept with his Bob Jones math worksheets. He did 1 page a day, front and back, for the math, and it's a pretty gentle math, but he did well with that. So I hope this was helpful to you. We really did love our My Father's World year. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below, and I would be happy to answer them. If you are not yet a subscriber, please subscribe to our channel, and I will see you again in our next video. Okay, bye guys.